What is the price of success? It's a heavy price. According to Vince Lombardi, the price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we've applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. How are you, Cameron? How are you today, sir?
Doing great, man. I like that.
Welcome to episode 15. I totally interrupted you there. I apologize. This is our 15th episode. I'm very excited. So we're going to do a little crossover episode. It's Would You Rather, and talking about the price of success. Cameron, what do you think the price of success is if you had to distill it down?
I think the most basic answer would be time. Right, you got to exchange your time for success in some way or another, right? Because in order to be successful at something, you have to put time, effort, energy, focus, attention towards that thing, and that's time.
Yeah, and it's time away from other things. So if you want to have a successful career, maybe you have to sacrifice family and friends or partying or something, right? And how about this? Would you rather wear no underwear or no socks for a year?
I would go with the no underwear because I basically did wear no underwear for a year.
You went commando for an entire year.
Yeah, when I was on deployment, when I was in the Army. So
why? That sounds like the worst place to not wear underwear.
Well, first it's when it's hot there. I think the hottest day we had was like 140 something degrees outside during the summer. So you're just constantly sweaty and fucking dirty and miserable anyway. So to just have like something constricting on you, whether they're like tidy whities or boxers, it's just fucking miserable, man. It's so much better like just free balling and like getting some airflow in there and that sort of thing. Which
what's the temperature?
One of the days got up to 140 something degrees. I don't remember, but the average was like, we had these big sundial like thermometers, you see outdoor, usually like people's grandparents' house, and it's, big numbers, and it'll go up to like 120. That thing was just dipped at 120 every day.
Doing that thing.
Didn't go any further. Yeah.
I was like, did your Camaro have the speedometer only went up to like 100 miles an hour or something?
Yes.
Dude, right? And you'd be like on the highway and it would just be like
it bouncing. Yeah. Every day when I first got that thing, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to try to max that bad boy. I used to joke. I would tell people, I'm like, oh, every single day I go over 100 in my Camaro. Even if I don't go on the freeway that day, I'm just like, we topping 100 every day.
Dude, so when the first day I got mine, I got pulled over. And literally, it was candy apple red, which is the number one car that gets pulled over. It's like also the most expensive color to insure, apparently. This was statistics from 12 years ago. Who knows? Maybe it's different now. No, fucking 22 years ago. Oh my God. That's insane. When I was 16. But yeah, so I get pulled over and I was like freaking the F out. And the cop, he was like, you in a rush, son? And I'm just like, oh, I need to get home. And he's like, listen, you're in a 2-ton death trap. Okay. I need to tell you about why it's important to drive safely. I mean, he was like a dad, right? He was like being like, yo, young kid, don't be a fucking dummy. He gave me a warning, which was cool.
Oh, that's nice. He looked at it as a learning lesson. So
yeah,
I got pulled over. I don't remember how many times, but I did get 3 speeding tickets while I was in high school, all in that car, all by a motorcycle cop who'd like hide in the bushes and shit and catch you on radar.
Was it the same guy?
Yes. He was notorious for everyone
he probably was
lookout.
Looking for you specifically.
He would get everyone. Oh yeah, get everyone. But he never gave you a warning. He just fucking like getting his quota every day. But the fastest I ever got pulled over was I was doing 110 on Christmas Day, driving down from like the mountains. It's like Christmas Eve with my mom and then Christmas Day at my dad. So I was driving from like where we were at with her down to his house, and it was, I don't know, like an hour and a half drive or something like that.
Where were there mountains?
This is in Northern California, like going from kind of like the Tahoe area, like down to the valley.
It's so scary driving on those roads. You're going 110, you fucking psycho.
Well,
oh my God.
I don't know. So if anyone wants to take their car out for a wild time, I'm telling you, Christmas morning, you just go at 6 a.m. There's nobody Every street is
Aren't
empty.
there like no railings on those mountain roads?
The parts I was going that weren't crazy windy like that. Like,
okay.
Yeah, it was more like two lane split highway each direction, and there's like hills and shit between the other direction of cars. So, I was just like in and out, like using both lanes to go the turns and accelerate on the straightaways. I don't know. Some cop was parked in like some random farmhouse along there's like driveway. And all of a sudden I see in the distance, like the cop car pull out, and I just start slowing down. And as I go around the corner, I just pulled over, and he just came around. He just pulled in behind me, and he was like, he wasn't even like mad or anything. He was like, yo, what would happen if like your brakes failed or you like lost control? And I was like, well, I'd probably die. And he was like, where are you going? And I'm just like, I was like, explain what happened. He's like, yo, man. I was like, I know, like, I was just having a good time. There's literally no cars out. But he was nice. He wrote me for a ticket for 85.
Okay. So you didn't get reckless driving.
Yeah. And a 65. Yeah. Over 100 in California is like reckless driving. It's like a DUI, like 2 points on your record and shit. So I got,
damn. Okay.
I got lucky.
You can like get arrested
nice.
for that actually. Technically. Yeah.
Probably. So he was cool about it. And he just looked at, it was like, hey man, like you're being stupid. Same thing, right? Like being stupid, like young and stuff. But that was in a 92 Honda Accord,
wow,
a stick shift. And it was like the same thing, like needle in the dash, like burn. And I didn't even realize it was going that fast, man. I was just jamming out like I was in the fucking Indy car.
When you get like used to driving that fast, like on the highway, I drive, close to that speed, and like it doesn't, like you become like conditioned to it, right? Like I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm going really fast.
Yeah, like when I moved from California to Georgia, people in California drive like 80. I'm sure it's just like that in the Chicago area. Like people just fly everywhere. And then move to Georgia and people are doing like 55 on the freeway. I'm like, what the you're doing like 70 and you're blowing by them like they're not moving. You're like, what the fuck? Those
states have like speed limit minimums because people go so slow to be like minimum 55. Like, let's fucking go.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Florida, but people are terrible drivers in Florida, dude. I have to imagine Georgia's similar.
Yeah, for the most part. So back to the question you asked me. I have a quick story about the Commando, and then I want to ask you what your take is. So one of our buddies that we were with when we were deployed, I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants the story on here or not, but one time we were like on a mission and we had to clear some houses. I don't remember if we took like small arms fire or like a roadside bomb or something like that, but we're going into house, like clearing them. And I just remember like the way a lot of these homes were concrete and their stairs would be open to where there's no railings or anything like that. It's just like basically like concrete, like stairs sticking out of the wall. And I don't remember what happened. He had like a very small hole in his pants, in the crotch, because he was kind of a bigger guy and it kind of formed, right? He, whatever happened in that thing, like moving quickly out of the vehicle, or as we're doing a lot of running back and forth, something happened and he tore the seam. So from his crotch all the way down to his knee, the seam along the inseam of the pants was just ripped open. So we're clearing houses and he's running up the stairs and his shit is just like flopping around like everywhere in the open. And we're just like dying laughing like the whole time because we can't just be like, yo, like stop or like get a change of clothes from the vehicle. Like that's just back at the base, man. And we're like literally in the middle of like mission, like trying to find like whoever was like trying to blow us up and shit. So it was hilarious. It was like,
what a good story. I bet that guy's, I don't know. He probably tells that story all the time. And that's an awesome memory.
Probably. Whenever we have meetups and shit, we always crack up about it.
Did he get a nickname from that? Like Hot Dog Boy or something?
No. But we just laugh about like the horrified look on the Iraqi like women and men's faces. Like he just he just had to rock those pants for like, I don't know, an hour or two. I think we might have had some duct tape on one of the vehicles and like, put a couple strips to just kind of help hold it together. But yeah, man, everyone just rocked Commando because it was way more comfortable and less hot. What about you? What would you, no socks or no underwear?
Follow-up question. Did he then start like wearing underwear or like bring like a backup pair of pants or anything?
I think that was the only pair that had a rip in them, but that wasn't the first time that happened. Back in the States, like we'd be out on a field exercise training and same thing happened. But in that situation, like, we're on the base and, it's like training is not a big deal. So, you just stop and go get, because you bring change of clothes with you. If you're going to be out there a week, so you can change uniforms and you just then change. But
That's
usually
bananas.
when we'd be on patrol, there's no one brought a change of clothes. Like there were some times they don't have sewers and things. They just do like ditches in the side of the street where all the sewage just flows down. Like people
just stink,
pee and poop. Yeah.
Do you get used to it?
The smell, not so bad. It's when you get close to it. I mean, the whole kind of cities are just smelly in general, but I mean, in the rural area. But I stepped in those fucking things a few times. And let me tell you this: you say like I'm super calm and like chill, dude. Well, when I step in one of those and now I have raw human shit up to my knee and it went inside my boots and I can feel it squishing in my fucking toes. Yo, I'm fucking mad. If I like, there was one where we got hit by an IED, and then I don't remember the exact thing. During one, we were in this little village, and as we got hit, there was all these low hanging like electrical wires like going. The vehicle trying to like evade out of that area when it got hit, like the driver turning quickly, hit these like the top of the Bradley, like running these telephone poles because we have these real long antennas or whatever for the radios.
Mm-hmm.
So they got like all fucking entangled on the vehicle. And then when you're like the smaller guy in the unit, at that time I was like 150 pounds, right? You get assigned like all the shit jobs to do that. Like everyone else is like, oh, you're light. Like here, let's throw you over this wall and you can unlock the gate since you can't get in, or like climb that giant fucking radio tower that's like 100 feet tall and it's like swaying as you're climbing up it because only you can fit through like the little metal rings up the ladder, shit like that. So they were like, hey, we can't put the ramp down because there's like live power lines on top of the vehicle. So the back ramp of the vehicle has like a little hatch, like escape hatch or whatever, if the ramp was not working. So I pop that open and it swings open. And I'm like, all right, there's no wires here, so I can crawl out the hole. And then I look and I'm directing the driver, because he can't like see behind him, of like how to move to get the like cables off of them, basically. So then that happened like real quick. And I basically get out. I think at this point I had the 240, which is like 4 fucking feet long. So I got this giant ass heavy like machine gun, and I'm running because they're like, oh, we don't know where that came from. Like we need to basically get like.
Was that your normal gun?
No, like we would rotate who would take that out depending on the mission, because it's just like, if you need like heavy fire.
That's badass.
So I remember like running to like cover or whatever, going, and you don't look down like when you're running, you're like scanning for like if people pop out or whatever. And I fucking all of a sudden when I went to step and there was, you're waiting for the ground, and all of a sudden my foot went further and I just all the squish and wetness. And then I fucking looked down. And
because you're watching the horizon,
yes,
perimeter, and you're not like looking straight out in front of you. The gun is like blocking your forward, like downward.
I was more.
Oh my god!
And they're not.
I would
big.
definitely
it's
rather
like
go
a foot wide
than
trench.
Happen.
Yes. So I was so fucking mad that I was like, I wasn't even mad about the bomb shit. Now I'm fucking mad. Like if you pop up, I'm shooting you in the face. I just stepped in your shit. Like
just anyone pooping in that thing is dead.
Yes. So when we got back, like the scrubbing, I had to do those boots and rinse them out. And like the number of like shower scrubbing, I probably spent like a half hour like scrubbing my toenails, like everything to get
cleaned.
Yeah. And I let them air dry out like a couple days and stuff. They just had this like, they were tan color, but now they had this like gray, like kind of dark gray hue to them.
Okay. So
that kind of never
made like some custom boots, which is
never
cool.
Came out. It's just on one boot. So they look fucked up when I was wearing them.
Old gray boot.
Yeah. And there was another time where we were in this like tall, thick palm grove that we got. Like we're on this road going to this village that's up on this berm. So one side is like very thick, like heavy palm grove, but it's thick like jungle. Like you can't really see through it. And the other side was open towards the village with like, a couple palm trees. So it looks like a resort. And we got just driving, and it's like a pressure switch or something like that on the ground. So when you drive over, like the IED blows up type of thing. And I remember this is a side note, but what you have the gunner who sits in the turret, and then the Bradley like commander, they usually are sitting about this high up out of the opening so they can kind of like observe. And then the driver's down front at the front of it, like looking out their hatch. So when they got hit, I think he was like filming a video to like send home, like there's not cell phones really then, not nice ones. He was filming with like a digital camera, like, hey, this is what the area looks to like send home. And all of a sudden I got hit. So while he's recording, we watched it later, but all of a sudden you just like boom. And he kind of like the concussion pushed him back and he like drops the camera down or whatever. And he's like, motherfuckers. And then all of a sudden you just hear, so they have the main 25 millimeter gun on the Bradley, which those rounds are about like, about that big. They're legit. And then you have the 7.62, which is similar to the 240, but like a different version that mounts in the vehicle. And I think when he got hit by that, because the commander can also control like the guns themselves. They can take.
So the guns are controlled
by the gunner. Yeah, they're joysticks. They're like
okay, but then the big one is a guy.
It's all down by the gunner with joysticks, and you just have separate buttons on your thing to switch between the ammunition.
Oh, that's so okay,
so you can switch, and you can switch the rate at which they fire and that sort of thing. And you can spin the turret super fast, or you can spin it slow. There's like, and you can raise the barrel up and down and like look all around. And there's a viewfinder, so you can look, and it has like thermal imaging, so you can see like the predator and shit.
Damn,
it's pretty fucking badass. Like I got trained as an alternate gunner, so I got to do every time one of the gunners would go home for 2 weeks on leave, I would get to replace them. So I was like, fuck yeah. Like one, you don't have to wear all your gear when you're in the vehicle and you stay, you're not a dismount. You can just wear
just rock like a t-shirt.
Yeah. And shorts, because if a round goes through the armor on that, your vest ain't going to fucking save you. So they're just like, yeah, when you're in here.
Do they even have any weaponry that can penetrate those? Do you need like a 50 cal or something?
50. I don't think a 50 cal would go through that. Plus we had like reactive armor on the outside for RPGs and things. So they're pretty secure, but you never know what kind of weapon they could have gotten a hold of or whatever. But
so I'm assuming it's hot as balls in there too.
They have little fans, but yeah, it's fucking sucks. And then if you're buttoned up is when the hatches are closed, it gets stuffy in there.
Yeah.
But when the dismounts are out walking around, normally you just have the hatches up because the commander's sitting out like this. So they can also with their eyes, like, because when you're gunning and you're looking through the thing, you can only see where the gun is pointing. And the driver has a limited view out there, hatch of just the front. So the commander is sticking up. So they have more peripheral to see if something's going on. So anyway, so when he gets hit by that and he drops the camera, he just grabs control of this, the stick from the gunner, and he just holds down it's called coax is what that 240 is called. And he just does a 750 round burst. Like,
just at the horizon.
Well, like the direction that we feel like that came from. Cause I think they did that and maybe like a couple RPGs shot at. Like through that thick palm grove area.
Wow.
So he just turned the turret and was just like a fucking just full like burst, like into all of that. Right. And then the Bradleys start like shooting like fire, like if they see any heat signatures or whatever. So as they do that, then they stop on the vehicles and the ramps go down. So the dismounts get out. And then they're like, the Bradley commander's like, that direction. Like we saw dudes over there, like movement, like right when the thing fucking went off. So we go down there, and then our squad was the first to go, and I was usually point like man. So I'm going down there. As you start going down the berm into this, it starts getting thick, and the things start getting where they're probably like, I don't know, 10 feet tall, like several feet over our head, and you can only see like a couple feet in front of you. I'm like, this feels like some Vietnam shit. Like you wouldn't think this would be in the desert. So I have my weapon out in front of me, and again, it's just eye scanning or spread out, and like everyone's scanning their sectors. So you're not looking down. And this stuff's so thick, you're just stepping through and you're just waiting for like if any movement happens. And all of a sudden I go to step and there's nothing there. And I just go face first, like another pile of shit. It was like a giant, it was like almost like a farm field like this where it's like they plow the fields, but it was all water. It was like a big, like 3 foot wide, like water canal.
Retention pond or something?
Yeah. It wasn't shit water, but it wasn't much better than the shit water. And as I started to fall down, this was my reaction. I held my like M4 like this up, and I just put my hand out in front of me. So as I was falling down, like I land and I'm like up to here in water, and the front of me, like chest is all in there too and shit, which I'm glad my face didn't fucking fall in there.
Yeah.
You're wearing about 60 pounds of gear, and as you fall forward, like it kind of shifts. So it's like up on you, like, you know, kind of like helping face planting you into the ground. But luckily the dude who was behind me, I forget who on the team, your vests have like this a carrying handle on the back, like stitched into the fabric and stuff. So he grabbed that like it's like an oh shit handle, and basically was like fucking pulling me out of the muck.
Wow.
And then I get up and there's all this shit caked in the barrel, like fucking. Now I'm like, God damn it, like motherfuckers. So
how heavy is that gun? So you have 60 pounds, and then the gun's got to be another like what?
Well, the M4s
pounds?
are not that much. I think with
M4. I thought you were talking about.
No, this was a different. This was my regular gun, but still.
Oh, okay.
So you carry 3 liters of water with you, and usually like 7 to 10 full 30-round magazines.
3 liters,
and then you have your ballistic plates front and back, and then the vest and everything. So I think you're like 40 pounds, and then when you add the water, and then an additional gear you're carrying and stuff, yeah, it's like 50 to 60 pounds of stuff. But anyway, yeah, that kind of stuff happens, and you're just like, well. Anyway, we were down there for like an hour looking. We didn't find nobody, and we just came back, and it was like, well, that was fun.
They just pop in, pop out, essentially. Or do you think the tank guy like decimated them?
I mean, maybe we were seeing if we would find bodies or not. We couldn't find anything, but it's still fucking
so they
in
probably
there.
like boogied, like shot and ran.
Because it's different when if they see like Humvees and stuff, they might stick around. But when they see the like basically tanks, they ain't fucking sticking around for that.
I wouldn't. Like
Humvees, the thing would be like, hey, you just clear immediately out of like the kill zone as fast as possible because you don't want to engage in that like soft skin vehicles, right? Like it's not good if you're taking small arms fires. But our vehicles, like small arms fire, don't do shit. So our SOP was like, nah, we immediately stop in place and we're fucking engaging. Like you're gonna attack us, like we're gonna fucking attack you back, type of thing.
That's
so
wild. That's such a good story, dude.
That was just like 2 of like, I don't know, 300 something days. But yeah, commando was the way to go for sure. So what about you? Would you go commando or
I
no
would
socks?
Go no socks, dude. I don't I've never been in that type of environmental challenge. I've been in some really hot weather. I live in Florida for a while. But I love wearing sandals. So I would just wear sandals 24/7 skis. Figure it out. Even in golf, I'm sure I could get like a golf sandal. I hate wearing shoes without. So if it was like I have to wear shoes still,
like business, like you have like an interview and you got to wear some dress shoes.
Yeah, any shoe. Like if it was like, okay, nothing changes except you're either wearing you can either wear socks or underwear. I would go no underwear then. Because one of the grossest feelings in the world is wearing shoes without socks. It's correct. My feet get so gross. I wrecked a pair of like really nice like Wolverine steel toe boots because I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear them without socks. Fuck it. And I did it for like a few months, and they were like so gross after.
Yeah, because your feet get so sweaty, and then they get like so smelly and like grimy on the inside.
And the shoes just like hold it in. Yeah. All right, here's one kind of off of that same topic. Would you rather have every outfit you wear be slightly itchy or slightly too tight?
Oh, fuck. I would say too tight. As soon as you said itchy, I was in my mind, I was like, whatever the other thing is, I'm picking. Because like, yeah, the itchy would drive me like crazy.
Like if it was like every shirt you put on felt like you just got your hair cut. That like feeling where you're like trying to get it off.
No, thank you.
I hate that.
Would you pick the same then?
Yeah, no, I would go a little too tight. This medium, you know, I mean, this shirt is a little too tight, and I'm very comfortable with it. All right, here's another one. All right, let me blow through a couple of these weird ones. All right, I got some for eyebrows or a brutal unibrow.
Oh. And you have to leave the unibrow. You can't
you have to leave it.
I think I would go the unibrow. Like, who was the dude in the NBA that rocked that and made it cool? That he was on the Pelicans, I think, for a while, and then he got traded to the Lakers. It's like a center. Anyway,
I'm sharing the thing so we can see it now.
Yeah,
I would working.
I would rather rock the unibrow.
Rock the unibrow?
Okay. Yeah, the no eyebrows. I think people just look really strange without eyebrows.
Okay. Yeah, I would go. All right, so we'll make the criteria. You also can't fix the no eyebrows.
Yeah, you can't like paint them on.
I would like because you get like your eyebrows tattooed on, or get like that. What's that shit where you like the
pencils, eyebrow pencils.
Yeah, you can
and
pencil
things.
it in, or they do like the tattooing, but it's called microblading. Like I'd be like, oh, I'll go get some microblade brows.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Uh, let's see.
Here, I got one
There's not
for you. Hold on. Let's see. This one is, would you rather have universal respect or unlimited power?
universal respect or unlimited power. I would go power for sure. I feel like.
Why would you pick power?
Yeah, I just feel like I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable having not everyone respect me. Like, I don't need everyone's respect, but if you have power, it's like you can have anything you want. And I'm a big Star Wars nerd, you know, and I'm listening to the Darth Plagueis books right now, and the whole thing is like, through power we gain strength. No, through strength we gain power. Through power, like, you gain freedom. Yeah, I would definitely go power. What about you?
I would pick the same. I really like your reasoning behind it, because it's like, I don't need like a universal, like worldwide respect. That's just not important to me. But at the same time, my thinking was like, well, if you had unlimited power, you could use your power for good to earn like universal respect. Yeah.
I think power is very that's a weird one, because it's like, I feel like power earns respect, but if they like, if we're saying they have to be exclusive, so it's like you you're all powerful, or but what if it's like this? You're all powerful, but you have zero respect from anyone, or you have everyone's respect, but you have no power. What would you pick?
Probably the power still, because like having no power, I don't know. I guess it would have to expand on further, but just in general, for power to me means like you literally have the power to do nothing, like make your own decisions, like take care of yourself or any of that. So I would pick the power.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because I feel like being all powerful and having no respect would be very lonely. You'd like feel bad, but you could like have anything, do anything. But then the latter would almost be like patronizing, where everyone's like respects the shit out of you, but you're like worthless in the power bracket. Yeah, I think you have to go power, even though I think both those outcomes would suck. That would just suck less, because at least you have power. Would you rather never sleep or never have to go to the bathroom? So you either don't have to sleep ever, or you never have to go to the bathroom.
Don't have to sleep, because that would free up more time than the bathroom.
Be the best. I like shitting. Like, I don't want to. That's like one of my favorite parts of my morning. I'm like, ooh, it's time to poop, and I get in there on my phone. I'm like looking at stuff, looking at stacks.
When you get the 3 S's, I don't know if you ever heard that term before or not. Shit, shower, shave.
That's a good one.
That's the ultimate feeling, right? Like,
what's your order?
Take a dump first, and then I like to shave before going in the shower, because then you can wash extra well and stuff. And then by pooping before the shower, then when you come out, you're just extra clean. So
you're like turbo clean. People who, it's almost like if you have to go after the shower, you have to start all over again, especially because like we like both keep like facial hair. It's hard to like, you can like razor your face wet easily, but if you're using like a trimmer, it's not as good. Like I had a meeting, like a Zoom meeting I had a couple days ago earlier and I had to clean my neck up, and I meant to do it before I showered, and I was like, fuck, forgot. Like my razor will do that. It's like a wet dry, but I got like some gnarly like
razor
bumps. Yeah, like because like your skin is just like, the hair is like all wet, and like it doesn't cut as good. It's like cutting a wet log versus a dry log. The dry log just like snap.
Yes, exactly, 100%.
Let's see what else we got. Some other good ones here.
I got another one too. Okay. Would you rather never be able to go out during the day or never be able to go out at night?
If you asked me like many moons ago, I would have said I'd rather only go out at night. But now I love the sunshine and being out during the day. And I'm very happy to be like in my house being a turd at night. So I would take daytime. What about you?
I would do the same. I remember, so I'm a morning person too, but when my son was born and like COVID was kind of shortly happened after that. So, I mean, we'd go out during the day and run errands, but like never go out at night, right? Like when you have a young kid at home and stuff like that. I mean, when they go to bed, it's just like, all right, like clean up when you need to clean up, or like veg on the couch for a little bit because you're tired and go to bed. So I remember must have been like 9 months or something like that after he'd been born. It's the first time I needed to like go to the store to get, I don't know, like formula or something. And going outside when it was dark, I was like, oh, this is so fucking weird. Like all the lights are on, like street lights, like all the buildings are lit up. And I was just so unused to it. So definitely more of a daytime person now. So it'd be easy transition.
Yeah, daytime's the best. Okay, this is awesome because this is the shit that I was trying to find originally.
Okay.
And so there's kind of like would you rather questions, but it's like how much money would it take you to do a crazy thing?
Oh, we used to play this game all the time when I was in high school and playing football.
Dude, so, and I was like joking the other day, and like Abby and I were like, I'm like, how much money would you do to like, you know, like do stuff to a guy or something, like be like, you know, do an escort type service? And she's like, no amount of money. And I'm like,
yeah, right.
$1,000. Every like, hell no.
Every
like,
person got a price somewhere.
Yeah. I'm like $1 million. She's like, no. And I'm like, that's just irresponsible. Like, I'll fucking do that for $1 million, man. Like, I'll get hypnotized to forget about it. All right. How much money to drink a cup of your own pee?
Does it have to be warm or can it be cold?
Okay. How much for warm? Because that's worse, right? I'm assuming like fresh pee.
Fresh,
how much for
piss.
Warm? Yeah.
How many ounces is this cup? We talking a shot glass or like a fucking 8 ounce or however much came out in one piss?
It's like those. I'm imagining those like styrofoam cups that are like this big, and maybe you pissed like halfway. It's like a good like
so
gulp
like
gulp
2 shots roughly.
Yeah, exactly.
$1,000.
$1,000?
Yeah.
That's pretty. I think I'd do it for 500.
Okay.
It's like not that bad, right? All right. What's the next one? Let's see what people put. What were the results? 25% of people said never, which I just a filthy lie.
Yeah. If someone offered you $1 million, you want to drink a cup of your own piss, get the fuck
$1 million
out
is
here.
one of the options.
Oh my God. 25% people said no. Yeah, right. Those are people probably doing. So let me get this straight. You'll spend 50 years of your lifetime working 9 to 5 every day to never make that amount, but you won't spend like 1 minute drinking your piss to make more money in your entire life. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That's what's crazy, right? But like, and I think like, remember like when I was younger, I remember my brother like joked about something. Maybe it was, but we would do like weird jokes. Like I'd be like, how much money would it take for you to like reach in the toilet and like do like a big turd? And he'd be like, I'll do it for $100. And I'd be like, fuck, I wouldn't do that. But like, you just don't understand the value of money. I think when you're a young person.
Or what,
here's the next one.
What situation people are in. Like you find out real quick, depending on what these questions are. Like you'll be like, damn, you do that for $5. Like you're real grimy. Like.
That's why you always let someone make you their first offer. Because sometimes I remember my dad's like the master of this. Me and my buddy Nick were like just trying to earn some side money when we were like in high school or something. And my dad needed to like organize the garage. So I offered to build him like shelving units in the garage. And he's like, all right, name your price. And I was like $60. And he's like, done. And like
he probably would have paid you like $500.
Hundreds of dollars. Maybe more. It's probably like $200 at least, right? I'm like, I lowballed myself.
Yeah.
All right. How much to eat a stranger's fully detached toenail? I'm like imagining it.
Can I clean it before eating it? Ugh. Just the texture of it. You can't even really chew that right.
You have to swallow it whole.
Ugh. Can you fold it up?
Yeah, you can definitely
break it into pieces. Like,
yeah, you'd have to like do like the, you know, you can like fold it in half and half and half. You'd have to do that, or you could do the thing where you
like a dog's pill, like put in a little lunch meat and then.
Can't do that though. You have to. Well, no, you could do that. You could do that. That would make it easy. Like, yeah, like put it in like some pudding and just like woof it down real quick, or like put it in a burrito.
Depending on the nail, I don't think that's as disgusting. I'm just trying to think like the how difficult it would be because of the texture, and it's be like fucking sharp, like stabbing your throat, like it's probably a hazard going down. It would have to be like probably like 10 grand.
10 grand?
Depending on the nail, like.
I love how much like self-respect you have. Because I'm like, $500.
I mean, maybe $1,000.
I'll do $1,000.
It depends. If it's a petite, like kind of clean nail, then it maybe. I'm just more like, I gotta break this thing up, and it's fucking hard. Like you can't even chew it. It's gonna be like, it's like swallowing glass, probably. I don't know. It sounds
essentially
sounds
like
miserable.
like a nice, thick, good calcified. They take biotin every day.
Oh, fuck. The price just went up.
Oh, it's like a old gouty, like old man nail. It almost looks
discolored.
It's like plankton.
It's like partly yellow.
Oh,
got like
dude,
a split.
My dad
in it.
went on a golf trip one time, to mention him again, and he had got these like really cheap golf shoes that are like a half size too small. He like can't resist a good deal, right? They walk the course for like 3 fucking days, and it's like wet out too. And so his feet are just getting murdered in these tight shoes. Comes back and like needs to have his toenails removed. Doesn't go to the podiatrist because he grew up on a farm, and I'm sure that's like whatever. And just like freaking pops that shit off, like pop both his big toenails off.
Ugh.
In the bathroom, just like, gah! Like nothing. It was totally fine.
That's a tough man.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't wear shoes that were too small, though, for 2 days.
Yeah, once it starts hurting, you can give me a blister. It's like, all right, that's a wrap.
Yeah, I'll buy new shoes. Like, it's not like you couldn't afford it. It's just like, it's the principle, I think. He's like, fuck it, I'm fine. All right. Okay. How much money to not be able to have sex for 10 years? Damn, 10 years?
Jesus. Well, and especially because of our ages, like if you cut out the next 10 years, then we're pushing 50. So,
oh, that's a good point. Because then it's like
you're kind of cutting out
like
the
end
last
of the good man years.
The peak time. You're basically just like shutting down peak time.
It would need to be a lot.
That's tough.
Like a lot. You'd be thinking 7 figures?
Yeah. Maybe 10 million, $1 million a year.
$1 million a year?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I'd have to like leave my fiance because there's no way. Like, not only would it be the cost of having no like intimate pleasure, it would also be there's no way I could have an intimate relationship with someone. So you have to give that up too.
Not to mention, you'd also, if you did it, all of a sudden have that amount of money, like begin some attention. You know what I mean? So
oh my God. Have to be torture.
Beating those beating them off the stick.
Maybe there's a way you can like titrate the amount where it's like it starts smaller because it's not as awful, but then like goes higher the longer you do it. I think I would do it if I could do it like that. And I could like quit at any time, but then like the incentive of like the next year being worth like 50% more, and I'd be like, ooh, but I can make like $6 million next year.
Like a no
really need
November,
sex,
but for 10 years.
Oh, brutal.
Okay, I got one for you.
Okay.
Would you rather live the same day, so like Groundhog's Day, over and over again for 1 year, or take 3 years off the end of your life?
Oh, wow. I'd do the Groundhog Day. Is it like just like in Bill Murray's Groundhog Day, where it's like, I don't know what the day is, but I can.
Yeah, I think that would have to be fair.
It's just a rando day.
If you got to pick any day, you could just be like, whatever your favorite thing is, be like, yeah, I just do that every day. And like, but no, it's the same day. Like, say it's a day of work. Like, you just live the same day of work, like the 9 to 5, and you eat those same like meals they had for the day. Like,
but you could
365
do like
times.
Is,
yeah,
where,
I think that's fair.
He deviates off the path, and because he knows it's going to start back over.
Yeah,
but then and then the 366th day in a row is the day where it goes to day 2. So you would just have to make sure day 365 was like a good day to set yourself up for the next day.
Yeah, don't do no wild shit. But the difference is with him is he had no idea. He thought that would, like, he's stuck in that forever.
Forever.
At least you would
Okay.
know like a year. It's still a long time, but I think you could have fun with it, right? Like
If you knew, I think it would be awesome because you could manipulate the shit out of it and get some really cool skills.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
The same year. Because
I wouldn't want to lose any days.
The trade-off is time, right? Like basically a year of, I wouldn't say being stuck because like you said, I mean, if your memory reset every day, like 51st dates or something, then that would be one thing, right? You're not retaining information, but if you're able to retain information and like get stuff out of it and things like that, even if you weren't, like that's still way better.
Yeah,
basically
even if it erased
giving
it,
up
would
1
still be
year
like
of your
you never
life or
knew.
3 years of your life, right? So
Yeah.
1 year.
That's a good one. Yeah. All right. What would you do? So remember we were talking about crypto rug pulls
Mm-hmm.
and the ethics behind it. What's like the amount where you would go, I'm willing to screw over a million people and rug pull them? Like how much would it have to be to essentially sell your soul for money?
There's no amount that I would do that to
Really?
to people. Yeah, especially a large amount of people, and I'll tell you why. So I'm a firm believer of like karma and like whatever you create in this life, like pays forward to your next life type of thing. Like one thing I've heard is people who have really good voices for singing and that sort of thing. It's like a reward that was like basically bestowed upon them from previous like good karma and past lives and things like that. So if you're like terrible in this life, then the next life, like you'll be born in some terrible place and like be in poverty your whole life or whatever, right? Like really bad circumstances. But if you continue to build, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I wouldn't do that to people because like I wouldn't want to have that guilt, that sort of thing on me.
That's like the guy
the money
who,
would
like,
feel dirty the whole time. So
yeah, like all the people who profited during like World War II in like Germany and the backs of like all the suffering, like they, you know, I'm sure that there are probably people who are fine, but there are probably a lot of people who like really just live with the horrendous guilt, as they should.
what about you?
You know, I wish I was as altruistic as you were, dude. I think there is an amount, and after hearing your answer though, I think it went up. So my ethics became a little stronger. I don't know, dude. Like if I could become like an instant billionaire,
I love
if
your
I could
honesty.
become like instantly, you know what? Maybe it's a smaller amount. Maybe it's like a couple $1,000,000, because then it's like I'm not like FTXing the crypto market where like, you know, like so many people are affected, or like Madoff who like fucked so many people.
But
right?
what if you wrecked the lives of 100 people and that was like their life savings to retire? Like they put their money into like a retirement fund.
Do I ever have to meet
it's
them?
all gone. No. You can get
just
away
knowing
scot-free,
that-
but they're all fucked. Like they can't retire. They got to keep working until they
like
just
some
kill or
old
die
guy
one
who
day.
like has to like go back to work because I like
Yeah.
wrecked his savings account. Yeah, I couldn't do it. If I really thought about it, you know, like knee jerk reaction, I'm like, I'll take the money if it's a big enough amount. But when you really look at it like that, like I remember I was watching that Madoff documentary, and there's like this old guy, and they were like retired. They were gonna like live off their 401k, and he was like driving people to the airport in his like 70s because he's like, we have no money. This is what I have to do. Like I was like, dude, that's so brutal. So brutal.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Like grinding it out the 9 to 5 for like 50 years, and then you're like, sweet, I'm gonna retire, and it's gone, nothing, and you got to go back. Like, you ever have where you're like, oh, I have tomorrow off, but then they're like, hey, can you work tomorrow or Saturday? Like, we just have a real busy week. How bummed out you are about that. Now imagine if you're like, sweet, I put in my time, I get to retire and like enjoy my next 20, 30 years, and they're like, nope, you work in Saturday. It's basically the same feeling, right, for the next 30
Forever.
years. Yeah.
Until you die, and you can't live off Social Security. Actually, I think Social Security is going up, but I mean, it's not going to be enough for. But I mean, one thing that I always felt, and just from seeing all these people just have like this decimated lives, and you know, people that are like didn't build a life for themselves where they could take care of themselves. It's like you can't rely on the system, and you can't. You have to rely on yourself, or maybe, you know, like colleagues, like you're someone I could rely on, not to take care of me, maybe to partner with me in my success. But anyone who's reliant on the system, it's just not going to work out for you. Time and time again, we've seen the systems fail. Look at FTX fail. You're just talking about Madoff. Social Security will explode at some point. And if not, I mean, they can keep paying it out, but like they're not really filling it back up. So I just never wanted to be relying on stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Would you rather have a third nipple or an extra toe?
I go extra toe.
Oh, really?
Pinky toe?
That surprises me.
I feel like no one ever sees your feet, and then you could just wear shoes all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you had a third,
but you just said you would
like,
rock sandals every day if you could, all the time, 24/7.
So they're like cumulatively adding on. So now I'm the no sock guy with 11 toes,
millionaire who rug pulled those people.
Yeah, with a load of guilt on my back.
Who hasn't had sex in 10 years.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome, dude.
I would do the extra nipple just because I'm thinking functionality, because I'm like, if you have an extra toe, does that mean like no shoes are gonna fit you? You gotta get like some custom fucking shoes made all the time.
You have like a shoe with like a little like on the side.
Yeah, or it needs to be a little wider, like, and then if the whole shoe's wide, your foot's sliding, so you just, like you said, need a little bump out for that toe.
You have one wide shoe, one normal shoe. Oh, that's so weird.
I mean, you could get it surgically removed, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you could be like a millionaire, right? Those foot fetish people, like you'd probably be like a fucking unicorn, right? They'd pay big bucks to see that. So maybe I would pick toe.
Dude, you know what? That's a freaking $1 million idea. If we can find some like 6-toed ladies with like nice, I don't know what, I'm assuming they are like petite feet are like the go-to, like maybe like someone in like an impoverished country that does like bad healthcare. So there's more like genetic mutations. And we just that's the market, dude. Pay them, fair wage, but then it's like the transference of, labor in China to like American marketplace. We can have the same process, but with foot content. Imagine the upsell. I mean, shit, that's probably, you pay $50 for, $10 for, 5X it, 10X it.
There's literally somebody listening to this right now that's like, oh shit, like I need to hit up the third world countries and find someone who can just start
that's a good
texting
idea,
me some
man.
foot pictures, and I'll split the profits with them like 50-50 and run their accounts.
Was like, that's 50-50 super generous.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
especially if you get those where they live,
like consignment.
You wouldn't only change that person's life, but you could change all their families and relatives' lives too. Like,
I love how you made foot fetishing
to a business plan.
Good. Well, and so just good and heartfelt. Like I was feeling dirty, but I feel like a good person now. I'm like, I would actually do it and now feel good about it.
Saving lives, improving people's lives. I mean, shit, that's more than what Apple's doing, right? Those sweatshops.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're actually changing their labor over to
children under 10.
Moving out of China into another country. What's the other country that does a ton of stuff? Is it Pakistan?
That and Vietnam does a lot of clothes. I don't know if they do electronics.
Yeah, they're moving out of because the Chinese have not been producing the numbers that they want for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they like made their labor laws better, but yeah, in order to keep their prices down. I actually got the new, I got a new MacBook though. It's freaking sick. Big fan.
Nice.
All right, last one. I'll do one more, then you do one more.
Okay.
And then we'll do closing thoughts. All right, let's see. None of these are like that awful. I want to find like the juiciest juice. Okay. How much would you want if you had to be constantly sweating, like dripping sweat every second of your life? How much money? Like you're like Patrick Ewing in the middle of a basketball game every second, just dripping. Great basketball player. And also a heavy sweater.
I would say the amount has to be high enough to be retired, because like that's probably not going to fly at a lot of jobs.
You could like work virtual and like never go on camera, but yeah, you could do much in-person stuff. I think it has to be an amount that's so big that you can accept how essentially abysmal your existence is, because that would be so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, and then I guess you could move somewhere like hot near the equator and like cover it up.
I think there is also the option of no amount of money would you take this outcome for. But if you can conceptualize an amount that's big enough, like I'm trying to think, like, is that worth $1 trillion? And I don't even think it's worth $1 trillion. I think that is.
It's so tough. Like everything you sit on or touch, like you just be wrecking everything. Like
just wet.
Getting your car.
You just have to buy like really expensive, like Lululemon, dry fit, everything.
Sleeping. Like I like it cool when I'm sleeping. If it's hot, like I'm not a good sleeper, and I can't imagine just sweating like 24/7. Not to mention the amount of water you'd have to consume to replenish that, and the health risks it would be. Fuck that. Yeah, no amount.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. Eat someone's toenail. Sure, I'll do that. Sweat all the time in my life. Like, no, can't do that.
Toenail was what, 10 grand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather fart every time you sit down or burp every time you stand up?
Fart for sure. Farting. Oh no. No, I'd go fart. And they have to be audible. Essentially, it's like.
Yeah, they will be loud. There's no silent. People would know.
I think burping is like really funny to little kids, but like gross in general to
especially for
like,
adults.
But like farting's always funny. Like I was actually talking to Abigail about this. I think finding farting funny, constant notation, is a evolutionary survival trait, because children find farting so funny that if you can't find farts funny, like you don't have like a good paternal or maternal instinct.
Yeah, I like that.
Because adults find farts funny too. Like I still fucking laugh when I hear farts.
Well, I think men find that farts funny. Most women
do
not. But
true.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. Like I think farts are hilarious. Like especially when they're expected. That would be. Oh man, can you imagine just everywhere you go, just farting? Plus, you could like do it to mess with people, like pranks, because you just know, like, I'm gonna sit down and just rip them. Like every time you're in church or something, you sit down.
Good.
Yeah, you just
don't have to sit down if you don't want to fart.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you have an Amazon Echo?
I don't.
Okay, so the Echo can make fart sounds.
Oh, nice. Does it mix
Alexa,
mix it up?
Play a fart sound.
Okay, here's yucky sounds.
Did you hear it?
Yeah. Ask me for a fart sound. Or say surprise me.
Alexa, surprise me.
Oh, that one sounded wet.
Dude, and I'm literally like, Alexa, stop. I'm literally like just like sitting on the couch watching TV, and it like I asked it a question, and it was like, would you like to hear a fart sound now? And I was like, yes. Like it just like let me know I could hear farts. And then the best is at the end of it, me like playing like a fart symphony, it asks if it tries to upsell me the like fart like adventure pack or whatever. It's
oh
like
my
more
gosh,
fart sounds. It was like $1. I didn't buy it though. I resisted, but it was very reasonable. I just thought the upsell was fucking hilarious though.
That's incredible. I didn't know that it does that.
Yeah.
And that it's trying to sell you like a package for like more variety of sounds, and like that's really in depth. Whoever created that is probably a multi-millionaire.
Dude, I'm wondering how many they sold. Farting machine. Let's see. No, wait, that's on
It's
Amazon.
like a whoopee cushion, right? Whoever invented the whoopee cushion, they're a millionaire.
Oh, dude, there's a really funny SNL skit about that. All right, so we're at the kind of closing marks here, kind of going down the rabbit hole a bit. And ultimately, you know, what the big takeaway here is, it's like the price you would pay for success. And a lot of these would you rather questions are like, you're sacrificing one thing. It's like either you have to do a thing that, you know, is less than favorable, and that could be you have to work for a long period of time, or like grind it out or miss time with your family. So there's always like a sacrifice to get where you want and to be successful. And so that is just kind of like a very like humorous way of elaborating on that concept. What are your closing thoughts, good sir?
I really want to pick the Amazon Echo fart noises because I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I learned that just now. But no, I agree with what you said. I guess I would add that, like, even though we're doing it as kind of a silly way of looking at it, that's how life is, right? Like you'll have to pick between two things a lot, or more than two things at once. You're like a fork in the road or crossroads all the time. And a lot of the times what you decide will determine like how your success goes, you know, or that how much longer it will take, or if it'll be more difficult or easier or whatever. So I think the biggest takeaway for me would be like, even though these questions may seem very surface level, as we started discussing and getting more in depth in them, it started changing like our minds or the ways we would think about it, right? So that's the takeaway would be. On the surface, a decision might seem something easy, but when you dive deep into it, you're like, oh, wow, there's actually a lot of things going on here to make my decision.
That's awesome takeaway. Well, cool, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you very much for listening. Leave a comment what kind of videos you want to see. We're going to have more guests on. We're going to do more funny stuff. Also going to talk about topics that we normally talk about. Yeah, like, subscribe. Awesome. Appreciate your time, y'all. Great seeing you, Cam. And we will talk to you guys later. Bye.
See ya.